I'm at the wrong meeting.
That's how we get on. That's how we get on at Facebook. And you get. We've been through this with the techno gods. All right, so we should be up, and let's see if we exactly are. And let me record this, and then we'll do the record to the cloud. There we go. And I think we're up, and we are up. We're on. Sure, that's down. It is. Oh, listen, we he's already playing with fire, people. Hey, everybody. It's the real, I know this week we've been doing a lot of stuff. It's the real Whiskey Wednesday.
Woohoo! Woohoo!
Now fortified with Simon Brooking. Wait, there's more. He's got fire. Now we know we're all in trouble. If the sprinkler system goes off, save the whiskey.
Yeah, because the firemen come and they drink all the whiskey.
They do. That's why you have to save it. I thought that was self-evident, Simon. All right. Well, we're into day 3 of Go Whiskey Week. Really, day 3. I know. Last night I pretty much collapsed when I got home. Anybody go to the dinner last night? Yeah, that was pretty good. I thought. Did you like the food? All right, good.
And Rachel was good, right?
Oh, Rachel's
She's the
fantastic. She's fantastic. She was very surprised when she got the award, and then when she saw it, I told her that you were now she was now brethren with you because you had gotten the award. She was even more excited.
Well, we go way back.
I know. It's just what she said. She was very excited. So, anyways, tonight is an evening with Laphroaig, right? What could be better than that, right? Simon's here, so I'm gonna hit it over to you, and away we go.
Oh, excellent.
There's
Thank
no
you.
pressure.
Oh, flower of Scotland, when will we see your likes again that fought and died for our wee bit hill and glen and stood against him? Against who? Proud Edward's army, bastard, and sent him homeward to think again. Hello, I'm Simon and I like to burn things.
We know that about you.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
not a secret anymore.
No, I know. Words got out.
Word has definitely gone out, and I'm so happy that you're here for our Go Whiskey Week. And it's such a privilege to have you here, Jinx, buddy. Thank you, sir.
Cheers.
Cheers. You can do that with the 10 because you got to start out with something, right? Listen, I've known we were going through what was the list going to be, and I said Simon first of all I was going to say the 10 because this is the rock on which Laphroaig was built.
Absolutely.
And this is anywhere you go in the world, if they have a decent whiskey selection, Laphroaig 10 will be there.
And if they don't,
That's not leave.
I'm walking out.
Leave.
Exactly.
Leave. You're not in a good establishment. I've been in places where the places have been falling apart, and I stayed because they had Laphroaig.
Yeah.
Yeah. I figured, what's the worst that can happen? They carry me out.
I had a friend up in Minnesota who went into a place that was like that. The place was falling down. And at the back of the end of the bar there was this dusty bottle, said 30 years old on it of Laphroaig. And he asked the bartender, well, how much for a glass? And he said, oh, I don't know. Nobody ever drinks that shit.
It's too old.
Yeah.
It's too old. Who wants that?
What do you give me for?
Yeah, he says, yeah, what did he get?
So he got bargain of the century. He just sat there and drank the bottle.
That's nice.
Yeah.
How much a shot?
It was like 15.
I would have sat there all night too.
Yeah.
Can I just give you 50 and I walk out with the bottle?
Yeah, there you go.
He might have gone for that.
Right.
Either way, he was carried out.
And same state.
We have to go to Minnesota. Same state.
Well, I am.
Unless he drank all of them there. Did he drink all of them?
No, but I'd finished a visit to Minnesota, and I was going back to the hotel near Mall of America, and I ordered a glass of. They had Laphroaig 18 at the back bar. Like, oh, I'll nice final. I'll finish the night with that. So I ordered one, and a couple of gentlemen down the other end of the bar started looking interested. I said to the bartender, buy them a couple of glasses of the 18-year. And it was just one last one for the night. And then I got the bill, and it was $850. I was like, what the?
The bartender says, "Do you want to still pay for theirs?"
Well, it was too late.
Yeah.
I mean,
No, I'm saying that was just for yours.
right. But I said, why is this so much? He said, well, it didn't have a price in the register, so I just charged you the Macallan price. So I said, I need to speak to your manager, please. Get it down to a reasonable price. But the 18-year, which some of you know probably well enough, we've released it again, but currently it's only available in Germany. So
was it over when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor? Hell no. I need to go to Germany. Leave him alone. He's on a roll.
So I'm advocating to get it over here back to the U.S. because it's a great bottling, and it was certainly a fan favorite here in the United States. So keep your fingers crossed and
your toes. We
right.
need all the help we can get.
Right,
fingers and toes crossed, because we want some of that.
Yeah,
I know you're working hard on that, though.
Doing the best I can.
So Laphroaig 10. Why is this such a good whiskey?
Because for me, I think it's dynamic. I think it's a great example of a whiskey. It doesn't have to be older to be better.
Yeah.
It really captures the structure of the Laphroaig at its peak. The smoke, the sweet, and in the case of the tasting we're doing tonight, I decided to do 2 bourbon casks first.
Okay.
And then we do sherry, and then we do the single barrels. But I think those bourbon barrels, it's a historic whiskey for me.
We've also talked about the same thing, and matter of fact, we even talked with Dr. Rachel Barry the other day. Is that younger whiskey with peat? Now they do a different type of peat than of course Laphroaig does. This is a Speyside peat, which has more of that iodine-y, seaweedy sort of stuff going on. But at a younger age, it drinks sweet. It's that sweet peat. It's not, people always associate it like sometimes being over the top. And I think the 10 sort of throws it in that realm where there's a sweetness to this whiskey that I don't think people appreciate it.
Laphroaig is a sweet.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, I don't think people sometimes associate it that way.
Right.
You know, I mean, what was the one she said last night? The tastes like a seagull's armpit. Isla whiskey, Isla whiskey. And a lot of places are proud of how strong and stuff it is. But I think there's an underappreciation, even amongst us people who love peat.
Right.
To understand the differences of how peat reacts over time and with individual whiskeys. The 10 for me is one of those ones that is very harmonious with the peat.
Well, and I think that's also the reason we decided to do the single barrel program at the age range that we bottled it at. Right. We were offering at, because it was about heroing the 10-year Laphroaig. Because there's so much flavor, and just a little bit of water too will change it immensely.
Yeah, I mean, and you all should have sponsorship. Icelandic glacier water. Everybody has some. They're the official water of Go Whiskey Week. And it actually does really good because it actually has the pH of 8.4, so it's pretty. That's really nice with whiskey, which is right. One of the reasons that we asked about it and have it here, and that they're a sponsor.
And there's the Icelandic connection with Laphroaig.
You want to tell everybody what that is?
Well, the name Laphroaig means hollow by the bay. The bay, the last part of the word Laphroaig, that ick ending, means bay. The way Reykjavik the
Right.
Vic ending means bay, and that's the Norse influence of the when the Vikings uh, lorded over that region.
Nice. Or maybe not so nice. I don't know. I wasn't there.
Well, we got tired of him,
Yeah.
got rid of him.
Yeah. Well, listen, they wanted more. They wanted probably some whiskey and said no. That was later though.
Yeah.
It's okay. They missed out on this. All right. So everybody, you can read, you can see what we have in front of us. You can read the sign. We're going to go from 10 to 25, which is insane. All right. I want to see what you got up here. A bold taste of Isla.
Well, so that's the 10, and we're just talking about the ick ending,
Yeah.
certainly.
Well, it's important to see where everything is too, right?
Well,
I mean, it's all about placement.
and
Where
it's
you are.
it's
This
about
place.
it's about community.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, I mean, the Orkneys is more Norse,
Right.
certainly, than anywhere else in Scotland.
I remember going to Isla for the first time, and actually, I think we went up to the water source at Laphroaig, and I'm up at the water source, and my phone switched over and it said, "Welcome to Ireland,"
Yeah.
because that's the. I mean, if you draw a line, that's where you're going to hit next, right? And I was probably closer to now to the towers of Ireland, cell towers of Ireland, than it was to Scotland.
Yeah, and the topography of Donegal, which is the northernmost county, and Ballycastle,
Yeah.
Northern Ireland, it's more similar to Isla.
Right. Absolutely. Than it is to the rest of the country.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's really good. I like that.
So certainly, Isla community, we know all of these distilleries. Port Ellen is just
Is that reopened yet?
yes,
Yeah. That was the last time I was there. I think they were getting ready to open.
yeah. They've opened. They're doing tours and they're producing spirit. The community's expanding. If we look at so these are the the four new distilleries that are have been proposed or are under construction.
Okay.
Port Natruan is the one that's Sukhinda Singh's distillery that's being built along the Cadalton Parish, which is the southern coast. It'll be the first distillery along the distillery walk there now.
Okay.
They've actually had to halt production because their construction company went into receivership.
Oh, that's always a good sign.
I mean, it's hard enough to be building on Isla
As it is.
as it is just with Caledonia McBrain with the ferry and getting.
You have to
on
bring
and off.
everything onto the island, basically.
Right.
For the construction. You have to bring, I mean, it's an island.
Yeah.
And it is sort of a little bit remote. So everything has to, if you're going to do construction, sort of everything has to come over.
And there are challenges already with the ferry system on Isla, just for the locals getting on and off.
Right.
Because a lot of times the production vehicles, the lorries that are tankering spirit off the island, that takes the place of 3 cars on the ferry. So the locals are having to leave their cars either on the mainland or on Isla and go on just as a walk-on passengers.
Yeah.
And even that, they're being limited to.
Have the distilleries ever thought of just getting together and just running their own ship back and forth like once a week or something like that?
You mean cooperating?
Yes, I was searching for a word I couldn't quite figure out. Cooperating would have been the word. Yes.
I mean,
Right?
I think
just do it.
Sure. I mean, all the locals are in for it, but
Yeah,
I mean, if we get the corporations together to cooperate, I mean that's a whole.
It's traveling on island on such a small island. It presents a lot of challenges. I'm going to tell you a story because we went to Bunnahabhain, which is sort of remote on Isla. On Isla's remote, Bunnahabhain is even more remote, right? And speaking of the ships and going across, we took our bus down this road, and it was like it's basically like a sheep path, right? I mean, I think at one point I had everybody go over to the left side of the bus because I felt we were going to fall off the edge on the other side. And we finally get there, and I see this long wharf at Wunnahaven, and I'm going like, oh, I get it now. You guys ship all the whiskey off of that pier. And the guy looks at me and goes, that pier's too dangerous. And I was like, what? Then the road? You know? So, I mean, at one point, you know that they were shipping like
Sure.
each distillery. I mean, look where every distillery is. They're all on the water.
Yeah.
So, you know, at one point they had to have been just shipping stuff over.
Oh
right?
yeah, they would
On their own.
They would float the barrels out to the puffers. Would come in during the time of the steamships.
Yep.
And they would anchor, wait for the tide to go down, and then bring in goods, and then bring the goods back out by rowboat, and then head back out again.
Right. Who's here has actually been to Isla? Anybody here? Yeah, it's quite a few of you guys.
Not enough.
Not enough. Who's been more than once? Yes. Almost the same amount of hands that went up the first time. Do you notice that? They go there and they want to go back. So once you've been to Isla, you want to go back to Isla. That's what I think.
Yeah,
anyways.
absolutely.
All right. So we get the timeline, 18. Well, is that a true timeline?
1815.
Well, that's legal.
Well, it's established 1815. 1823, we got the license to do it legally.
Okay.
1847, Donald Johnson, one of the brothers, fell into a vat of burnt pot ale and succumbed to his injuries. So we like to say there's a little bit of the Johnson family in every bottle of Laphroaig. Gives it that extra body.
You've been waiting to say that all night.
Look at the legs on that.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
No, but
it's never stopped me drinking it before. It won't now.
But 1857, Dugald, the son of Donald.
Luckily, he had procreated before he fell into the vat. So, yeah.
But he was too young to be able to run the distillery. So the two aunties took it over until he was old enough, 1857. And he ran it for another 20 years.
But, you know, a lot of people don't realize this, and you're going to hit on a couple of these things as we keep going on. There's been quite a few times that the distillery has been operated by women. And they're getting their due, which is great. I think which is awesome.
Yeah, well, Catherine and her sister,
right?
They ran it for a good 10 years until Dugald was old enough.
Old enough, right? And they probably watched over him, knowing aunties. They probably watched over him quite even when he took over.
Yeah.
You don't want to upset the aunts.
Nope.
No.
So early part of the 20th century, Ian Hunter came on board, and he was the last of the Johnston clan.
Okay.
And he, the distillery that you see today is the footprint is a result of Ian Hunter's expansion at the distillery. Doubled the still house, and he also then traveled globally.
Yep. Was he responsible for the Warehouse 1 too? Is that his?
Yes.
Yeah, that's all.
And it's why largest per capita consumption for Laphroaig in the world is Sweden, because of his early efforts. He started traveling globally, and so
I like that. It's sort of like that juxtaposition that, you know, you had the Vikings invaded you, and now you invade the Vikings.
Right.
I think your invasion was much more fun though.
Oh, definitely.
Because you had whiskey.
Well, but then the Swedes come back, and
that's true.
They party with us.
There you go.
They're big partiers. And then during his tenure, you were talking about the women.
Yeah.
At Laphroaig, Bessie.
Yeah, it was huge.
She came as for a holiday one summer, and took a job at the distillery as a secretary. But she had a chemistry degree from University of Glasgow. So Mr. Hunter recognized her talents and took her under his wing and tutored her and mentored her. She eventually became managing director in 1954 and ran Laphroaig until the late 60s when it was turned over to Long John International.
Yep.
But she stayed on until 1972 because she wanted to make sure that the quality of the
They
spirit
didn't
was
screw it up.
right.
Yeah.
Because that's the one job for the distillery manager. I mean, John Campbell
Right.
was known. His one job is not to f things up.
You can say that on there. It's very free on Facebook now, I guess.
Oh, not to fuck it up.
There you go.
There.
You could swear from now until the end of the show and not have the record for the amount of swearing on the show.
No, that would be Bill
No.
Lumsden.
No, believe it or not. So a good friend Carrie from Compass Box.
Oh.
Yeah. Her and sailors have a lot in common to swear. And that's why we love her though.
So 94, we just celebrated 30 years of the Friends of Laphroaig program.
Mhm.
And Ian Henderson, who's the gentleman on the left, he's the one who started it because people would come over to Isla to visit, and this was long before whiskey tourism existed, and they'd made the journey across, and more often than not, you would get a tour by the distillery manager himself. And if you were lucky enough, you'd end up having supper with Ian and his wife. And then he would write a letter thanking you and doing it old school.
Really?
So he was the one who started the Friends of Laphroaig program, where you get your square foot of land. How many Friends of Laphroaig do we have here? Oh, more.
I can tell you some people have not visited their plot of land
No.
to plant their flag. Looks like it might be time for another trip.
Yeah, definitely. Come walk your back 40.
There you go.
So this happened in 1994. It was the same year. It was during this visit. Who was Prince Charles at the time? They had actually allowed him to take the controls of the plane that they were landing, and he flew it off the end of the runway.
Okay. In all fairness, if you've been to Isla, it's not an easy airport.
No, it's
period.
not.
And I'm sure back then it was even worse.
Yeah, he flew it off the end. It got stuck in the mud, and it was fortunate for us because it gave us more time to spend with the prince at the time. And
you might be able to leave tomorrow. We might be able to get that plane out of there.
But because of that time spent, we were able to receive the request to become receive the royal warrant.
Royal warrant, yeah.
Which you have to reapply for, and when Prince Charles became King Charles II, we reapplied for it, and it was granted. So we have the royal warrant of King Charles now.
Nice.
Which we're one of a very few select group.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
He's a member of the Keepers of the Quake too, by the way.
Yeah, he better be.
He is. Yeah. Oh, listen, that's my bragging rights for my kids. I'm in a club with a king. And they go, and my youngest says, "Daddy, you're the king." And I said, "Thank you, honey. You're my favorite today."
Yeah, so that was King Charles there.
Nice.
We should drink some more whiskey.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
Oh,
I know they were. Have you drunk it all yet? I mean, they're probably already done. Do you want to try?
25 year.
You want to do? Yeah, and we're going from 10 to 25 year. And as Simon said, how we set this up basically was for you guys to be able to try the bourbon cask finish whiskey like together, and the 25 is a bourbon cask whiskey.
And this is the last of the 25 year for a while.
So this is the 2023 edition of the 25 year.
Yeah. Well, we've got one more after that, and then we're moving to a 30 year.
Oh, okay. I think I may have one 2022 because those were in 750s.
Right.
I think I may have one more bottle of that.
And the ones in the white in the white
Yeah, this one?
boxes there, those are all bourbon casks.
Right. And that and 2022 is also.
Yeah, if you find a 25-year that's in the black case, it's got the gold the gold label on it. That is 70% 25-year bourbon cask Laphroaig. The other 30% is 27 and 28-year sherry cask. So keep an eye out for those.
This has got an unbelievable nose.
And when you taste, I always recommend holding in your mouth and giving it a swirl. Hold it, swirl, and then release. And here's the toast. May there be no hell, and if there is, I'll see you at the bar.
To you, sir. Well, that doesn't suck. That's pretty nice, right? Yeah. I love this one. I love the nose on this one. The nose on this one is unbelievable. There's so much
and
more
sweet.
going on. It's still got that sweetness, but we talked about that peat. That peat changes, and you can smell it in the nose. It's got more of an earthiness to it, but it still retains some of that sweet. I thought when I first got the 25 and I tried it, I thought for sure it was going to be the peat would have been more like dirt.
Yeah.
Right, because it's so old. It's still got that vibrancy. Is that because of the ex bourbon cask?
Yeah.
Not taking that away.
Yeah. It highlights it. I mean,
Yeah.
it really.
What you guys think? Not mad at it. Yeah, yeah. Wouldn't kick it out of bed. Okay, we got him.
For eating crackers.
For eating crackers, no way. Mm. It's so rare to have some of these, some of these older whiskeys, and we're not ageist here, but it's also really nice to sort of try some of these things at some of these advanced ages to see how they've held up. And this is a beautiful example.
Definitely. And side by side with the 10-year, I think you get a great comparison.
I think you get an appreciation of the 10 too, because you're like, that's really good too. And it's like well, you know what it is? It doesn't take away from that 10. Like when you try the 25, it doesn't mean like, oh, the 25 is just so much better. There are the genetic makeup of the 10 is still prevalent in the 25.
And yet there's so much diversity to it. I mean,
yeah, no, it's a different animal, but you can still.
But it's not the
there.
10-year times 2.5.
No, it's not. There's other things going on.
But
what'd you guys think of the 25? Do you like it? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll put you each down for a bottle. Two for you, sir. All right, good, great. Boys, you're gonna have to bring us another case. We gotta do some more. Not a problem. The salesman and the reps on the side are like, not a problem. We can bring you more, sir. We can bring you a lot more. You want some more? All right, we got it.
So the slide. What is Pete?
Got
Baby,
to do with it?
don't hurt me.
Oh,
don't hurt me. Well, that's the feeling of it when people think, "Oh my God, it's gonna hurt." With Pete.
You've heard that before, right?
Oh, yeah. Is that Pete?
That's Pete over there. No. Is there a Pete in the room? No Pete.
No.
Repeat? No. All right. We're getting silly now. Stop it. Me.
Yeah.
Not you. All right.
It's the liquor talking.
It's the liquor talking. It's apropos of our, You can find this when Cousin Vinny puts it on wherever you get your apps, wherever you get your podcasts, as It's the Liquor Talking.
There you go.
See? There's a reason for the name.
I'd thrown you a bone there.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
You throw those grapefruits up there, I'll hit them. Don't worry about it.
So Glen Macri is the peat bog right in the center of the island there that the runway is built on.
And if you go over the edge, you go right into the peat bog.
Yeah, and the roads,
as the king knows.
So the roads are like across the.
At certain times, yeah, they sort of float.
Yeah,
The roads almost float on top of the peat. So
Yeah.
you get these like sort of waves in the road,
yeah.
which must be great on a motorcycle. I need to try that.
Haven't done it.
I got to try that because I think that would be fun.
But one of the questions that always comes up is its sustainability of the peat. Because we dig 8 inches, put that off to the side, and then dig another 18 inches, another 18 inches below that. And every inch is 100 years of decomposition. So this is literally old shit and grass and plants and moss. But Suntory Global with Laphroaig and Beaumont and Ardmore
Yeah.
and Glengarry has initiated a program called the Peatland Water Conservancy. And I've got a little video here if we
Yeah, we
want
should
to
throw it up there. Yeah, I'll see it. I'll put this up. If you guys can't hear in the back, let me know, okay? Did have a thing here.
So this is Frank and Moss. This is the builder, basically builder at peat bogs.
So peatland is really important to the environment because it's a really important carbon sink, more important than woodland, even though there's much less of it. But it needs to be in a good condition to do that. So restoring it's really important.
So the industry came together a couple of years ago to start to look at some kind of action plan around management of peat in terms of their responsibilities. And what that accumulated in is our commitment to responsible peat use, which has 3 pillars focusing on extraction and best practice, efficiency of use, and restoration.
Collaborative working is fundamental if we're going to actually make a difference here. We will work collaboratively with other distillers. We'll work collaboratively within the support network of the Scotch Whisky Association. We're very glad to do it. And at a restoration level, we don't own.
That's the American Monument.
So like-minded and progressive private landowners, like the landowner here at Craig Cooter, Northern Peat and Moss, and also with government agencies such as Forestry Land Scotland and NGOs such as the RSPB, who we're very proud to be working on 2 projects already.
By doing the restoration, you see quite a quick change in the vegetation, and then that's followed on by some of the more noticeable species like the lapwings and your oyster catchers and other birds as well.
We designed the Peatland Water Sanctuary to replenish not just water, but also replenish peat. And that's the aim of the programme, is to have back in the environment enough natural and healthy wetlands, predominantly peatlands, that we can replenish both the peat that we consume on an ongoing annual basis, also enhance the quality and quantity of the water environment.
70% of water supply in the UK comes from peatland catchments. There's the purification aspect of when a bog is working properly. You can imagine the water filtering through all the vegetation rather than running just straight down the ditch. So it will take up to about 20-25 times its dry weight in water. That's why that amount of water is actually coming out.
All these small peatlands are surrounded by communities that have historical, cultural connections to these peatlands. And it's an opportunity to think about how we bring people back to peatlands. Previously, all these peatlands would have been worked by people. So bringing them back under a different context of restoring them for their environmental value is really important.
We're all part of the landscape. What we have to do is minimise our impact on that landscape. I think particularly in Scotland, peatland restoration is very important because we've got 20% of our land cover is peatlands. About 80% of those are degraded in some form or other. So we'll just put that back and you can carry on absorbing water and growing. And nobody knows we've been here.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm really proud of what we're
I think
doing.
that's great.
Alistair Longwell is.
Yeah, Alistair's, for those of you who don't know, is a Lock and Key award-winning holder. He's up on our board. And we've actually done a single cask with him too.
That was one of the first.
One of the first ones.
Ones we did.
Yeah, it was great.
We did the live event with
Yes.
with him at his office
Yes,
at
exactly.
Ardmore.
At Ardmore.
And we did 3 or 4 sessions, and he just sat at his desk. He was loving it. It was the best job he'd had.
You didn't have to leave home.
Oh,
Which is good. All right, I'm going to tell my Pete story because we went out on the Pete Bog when we picked our whiskey. So we went on the Pete Bog. It was a little bit early in the season or late in the season. I can't remember. Early in the season,
early.
and they were a little bit wet. And we tried to, dig out some peat. They took us out there, and we were digging out peat. And Randall and I were out there, and we were drinking some really good whiskey. I think we were drinking 25-year-old or something like that. And we had our glass, and then of course, Randall goes, "Okay, I'm going to dig peat," and he hands me his glass. So now I have 2 glasses, and Randall goes out there to dig peat. And if those of you know Randall, know he's 6'7", and he's not a small guy. He starts sinking into the peat bog. And at first we're all laughing because it's kind of funny. And then he's like, no, I'm like, he's in distress now. And I'm like, I don't know what to do. I'm handcuffed.
Yeah.
I'm handcuffed. I don't know what to, I go, you're going to die. I don't know what to tell you. You're going to die. I drank his and put it down, helped him out of there. And then I still had mine. So
That's the right.
it was the right
right
move. It was
priority.
definitely the right move. And he's still here today to remind me of the time I almost let him die in the peat bog. I said, he's like, what am I going to do? He's 6'. I'm not pulling this guy out of it. It's going to take us all to pull him out. You guys go ahead. I'll hold the whiskey. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Well, he's still here. I'm still here. He didn't kill me afterwards. I didn't let him die. So there you go. This is the funniest thing, though. I don't know. It looks like you're going to die. Don't worry. We'll use you in whiskey in a couple thousand years.
Yeah.
We'll use you in whiskey in a couple thousand years, buddy.
Tastes
Have fun.
tastes like Randall.
Oh, look at the legs and the arms on this one.
Look at the ass on that.
Yeah, I was leaving that one alone. It's not such sweet Pete now. Yeah, you need somebody in the bog.
Yeah.
Trust me,
definitely.
I'm sure there's somebody in the bog. Trust me. You don't live in an island that isolated and somebody didn't end up in the bog at one point.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So the next one, we got to try another whiskey.
Yeah. Let's do it.
They're getting upset. We're not drinking whiskey fast enough.
Oh well, let's move on.
All right. And this one, this has been a favorite now, and it's back in stock, which is great.
Well, it's the demand has been high.
Yeah.
So,
Are you trying to soften the blow? You're telling me the demand's been high, so even though it's back in stock, there's not a lot of it.
there's not in comparison to the 10-year. The 10 years are workhorse.
Right. Well, you got to make sure you have that one. I get that.
So 8 years bourbon, 2 years Oloroso sherry. It's going to cut the smoke.
I guess that stripy bacon taste.
Stripy bacon?
Yeah,
Is that like peppermint bacon?
Yeah, it's stripy bacon. Like fatty bacon. It's got that
Stripy
sweet.
bacon.
It's got that sweet.
Bacon strips.
Yeah. What? Streaky bacon.
Streaky.
Whatever. It's bacon. Don't drink it. I can say whatever I want. Canadian bacon. There you go. Now you happy? All happy now? I know it's different. That's what I'm tasting now. Who said back bacon?
So here's the toast.
All right.
Arriba, el bajo, el centro y el dentro. Up, in, out, no. Up, down, out, in.
There you go.
Salud.
That is good. I like that one too. I'm having a problem here because I'm liking them all.
But so much more understated with the sherry.
Yeah.
Compared to the 10.
It does dial it back and it gives it that sweet tone.
Yeah.
I think to it. Like barbecue sauce.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's got that sort of,
Yeah.
and it's got a little bit, I always get a little, I think it also makes that there's a little salinic taste in Laphroaig. And I think the For some reason, the
The
sherry brings it
pulls
out.
out more of the
Yeah.
salinity.
Yeah. Do you think so?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought it was just me.
It would have been more of the traditional casks were sherry,
Right.
19th century.
I mean, sherry. We say this every time. You guys aren't drinking enough sherry. Drink more sherry, and port if you can throw it in there.
Yeah.
We need them for their barrels. You got to do your part. I'm calling on all of you to do your part. You drink more sherry. It'll pay off. Trust me, it will pay off. You'll be happy about it.
So,
We got there.
Friends of Laphroaig, but
yeah.
this is, I was talking about the original footprint
Yeah.
of Ian Hunter's. This is what he
Expansion.
expanded it to.
Wow.
And you see the cottages on the left are that's the village where everybody who worked at the distillery lived it. Not anymore now,
Right.
but and then you've got the far left. Those are the road warehouses there.
Yep.
Those are racked 9 high. And of course, you've got where it says Laphroaig, that's the number 1 warehouse. And behind that is number 7, 8, and 9. Don't
Some
ask.
numbers missing in there, isn't there?
But those are the dunnage warehouses.
Everybody knows what a dunnage warehouse is? Dirt floor.
Dirt floor, earthen floor. And historically, they would also spread the ash from the still house, from the stills that they were heating.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yep.
What does that do? Does it do anything or just a place to put
just
them?
absorption.
Yeah. Absorbs moisture, probably.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
That's nice. I did not know that. That's cool.
So that ashy flavor.
It doesn't get into the whiskey. You know. Doesn't get through the barrel.
And the salinity, the salt
the
doesn't
salt,
get it.
yeah.
It doesn't get it.
Yeah, but we all know it's not really salt. It's just something that mimics that for us in our
Right.
flavor, in our palate. You're not saying that there's salt in there, are you?
No, there's salinity.
Okay. You're such a wordsmith. I don't know how I could even compare to you.
You can't.
I know. I'm trying. I've stopped it. Stop trying.
So, Friends of Laphroaig, we just celebrated the 30-year anniversary. We have over 600,000 Friends of Laphroaig now.
Really?
And certainly the benefits. We've got virtual master classes that we do.
There is a lot of stuff to do. Do you guys ever do any of them? Go online and do them? Yeah. I drink their whiskey. Okay. Well, that's good enough
That's
too.
the most important.
That's the most
part.
important
That
one.
is-
Yeah.
Yes.
That is the most important one.
But
That's what friends are for. Yes.
Oh,
To drink their whiskey.
new
yes.
song.
Oh, okay. Go.
No, that's what friends
Oh.
are for.
I thought you had another song.
Carchus.
Okay, so I'm going to point this out to you that we've been waiting a super long time here in Massachusetts for the 2024 Carchus, and it has just arrived. By the way, if anybody hadn't been keeping track, it's 2025. I'm looking at the reps and salespeople over there. They forget what year it is, but this is the 2024. It's finally here, the new one. And I don't think any of you had it yet? Is tonight the
Ooh.
first time?
We're in for
Been
a
waiting.
treat.
Oh my God. The fact that we got to do this right now. Cause the fact that it's been sitting in front of them and they've not drunk it. None of you drank it? No? All right. We don't need to know that you had something in Virginia. Who brought the cool kid? That's a real Massachusetts saying. Who brought the cool kid? You know that one?
No, I don't.
No, it's a Massachusetts saying. It's that person at the party that's like, well, back where I'm from, we do all this stuff. Like, who brought the cool kid? Megazone did. She's blushing a little bit, so it's actually even worth it. Well, they've had it in Virginia, but not here in Massachusetts.
They've had it since
and that's
2023.
that's like a yeah. We had it before it even came out. That's how long we've had it. What's that? Why are you going out for cartridges? We have cartridges at home.
Yeah.
All right. I'm thinking a taste. So there
Well,
you go.
so this is
I'll let you do the toast now.
this is our we're calling this one favorites. We've took a 10-year and then finished in Oloroso and Pedro Jimenez sherry casks, which was triple wood was one of our favorites.
Yes,
10-year
that was,
one of, you know. So we married 3 to give us this one. And you can see by the color that we've moved in. We're in the sherry.
We're in the mahogany stage.
Sherry category now.
That mahogany sort of
So
flavor.
here's the toast. May they never use your ass as a banjo.
I think that's just is actually a toast or just a life lesson.
That's what friends are for.
That's what friends are for. Never use it. I'm going to remember that. How could I forget that one?
It's actually
Prison logic. No. That's chewy. Man, some really good flavors going on in that.
bottled at 52.4.
Yeah, we didn't get enough. I was just going to tell you, Massachusetts got this. I'm going to tell you right now, we didn't get enough of this. It's going to be a problem.
This is a good one. This is more of a traditional style.
Yeah.
We tend to alternate from year to year. The carchai. Carchai is the plural.
Is that like octopus and octopi? Is that same sort of thing?
Yeah, no.
Something like that? No. I'm just checking. Give me the stare down.
No, it reminds me of a joke.
Don't use your ass as a banjo.
So the guy walks into the bar with his pet octopus.
Yes.
Throws the octopus up on the bar. $100 for anybody who can give my pet octopus an instrument he cannot play. Okay, very good. One guy, one end of the bar pulls out his trombone. The octopus slides it up and down a couple times. It goes in, cleans out the spit valve, goes into a rousing rendition of When the Saints Come Marching In. Cool. Another guy at the other end of the bar pulls out his banjo. Octopus picks it up, tunes it up, goes to a little bit of Foggy Mountain Breakdown. Bartender's been watching it. Okay, goes in the back room, comes out, throws a set of bagpipes up onto the bar. The octopus picks him up, looks at him, puts him back down again. His owner turns and looks at him and says, well, what are you waiting for? Play the bloody thing. The octopus turns and looks at him and says, play it. If I can figure out I got to get his pajamas off, I'm going to screw it. Thanks for feeding me.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good one. I like that one.
What was that?
That was a technicality. Yeah. The octopus, they won because on a technicality is the bagpipes an actual musical instrument.
Right.
I'm going to put it this way. Shut up and drink your whiskey.
No. The Irish are doing the same thing, laughing at us.
You said your banjo playing ass, I guess.
No, this is a good whiskey.
Yeah, that's the understatement of the century. That is a good whiskey. I like that a lot.
Yeah. I can tell you what
we didn't have to drive to Virginia for it. It's even better.
And the 2025 cartridge.
We'll get that
you guys
2030, 2030 or something like that. Yeah.
Is going to be a cast strength lore.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awful nice. That's really good. Have you ever driven in Virginia? Have you ever drove in Virginia? Has anybody gone through Virginia? Yeah. So here's how we're always talking. We're in Massachusetts. We always get made fun of about the way we drive. We're very aggressive drivers, right?
Really?
Yeah. No kidding. Yeah. You go on the road. You'll see what I'm talking about. In Virginia, 3 lanes of highway. Everybody goes the same speed. The left lane, the middle lane, and the right lane are all traveling at the same speed. You think you can get around anybody in Virginia? No. And they're all driving. That's the way they drive. And then all of a sudden, for no apparent reason whatsoever, there's a traffic jam. I guess the people up front decided to all travel less fast together and travel everything up. And Virginia may be for lovers, but it's not for drivers. That's my conclusion. I'm going to get so many letters now.
Massachusetts drivers?
Massachusetts drivers, takes you an hour from Boston to get to Boston. And that's the truth.
That's took us an hour today.
It took you an hour today to go from one side of Boston to the other. Yeah. Yes, that's true. That's Maine. You can't get down from our.
Boston, the sky is falling.
Well, they just our tunnels may not be as safe as we'd like them to be. I'll point that out. I'll just point that out. You know what? It makes you really, really alert on the road because you never know who's coming for you. Could be the road, could be another driver, could be the tunnel.
Yeah.
You never know.
Same thing in Texas.
Well, yeah. Well, that's a different story.
Yeah.
Would you guys like the carcass? Was it worth the wait? Worth the wait. It makes you appreciate it more, not like those greedy people in Virginia who've been drinking it all. That is good, though. I love that. What's that? They don't share. What's that? You can't get triple wood. Well, there's things, you get this, you don't get that. Whoa. Everybody just calm down. It's whiskey.
We need to
We're enjoying it.
Come together.
Yes, come together and drink whiskey.
How about if we sing?
Okay. You can
right.
sing, but let's
So
see.
we're-
I can't, but you can.
So we're moving into the next section here.
Okay.
I thought you guys read that one there? You know the song?
It's Roll Out the Barrel.
Roll out the barrel. Okay. Hold.
Ready?
Save it.
Save it. Don't spend it all at once.
Okay, you ready?
Right. Ready? Here we go.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Roll out the barrel. Let's have a barrel of fun. Roll out the barrel. We've got the blues on the run. Throw on your party apparel. Sing out a song of good cheer. Now's the time to roll the barrel, 'cause Laphroaig's is
There you
here.
go. Nice.
That was good.
That was good. I didn't sing. That was the best part. I will say something like that. I never knew there was more lines after you got past that. To be honest, I'm just being honest with everybody. Second, there is another verse. Yeah, I never get that far.
So here's that image that you were.
So let's see. That is myself. That is Randall Bird, Chris, and Bill Thompson from Jack Rose.
How much?
And we are the Barrel Sniffers.
How much bung?
Thank you. We'll be performing later today. The Barrel Sniffers.
How much bung can a bung sniffer sniff?
Sniff.
If a bung sniffer could
Good.
sniff bungs? They sniffed a lot of bungs on this day.
We did. That was okay. So should I should give you the background of why we're bung sniffers.
Well, I'll here.
Do you want to do that? Oh no, you're gonna do that? Okay, go ahead. He's standing on my back, just so you know.
So dramming is an old practice at the distilleries. It was to curb thievery from the employees. You would arrive at for work for the morning shift, and everybody would line up with a glass in hand. And during the day, you were given what was called 3 browns and a white. And so first start of the shift, everybody gets a brown, and then at the end of the morning shift, everybody lines up. You get a glass of the brown, and then the beginning of the afternoon shift, you line up, glass of the brown, and then at the end of the day, you get a glass of the white, which is the new spirit. Now,
Is that a payment system?
it's a safety.
Safety? Yeah.
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 And if you were lucky enough at Ardmore Distillery, they would start at 7 in the morning, so you would get.
Why? Because you can't drink all day unless you start in the morning.
There you go.
My type of people.
So you get an extra 2 drams.
There you go.
But there are guys that would just.
Will they be like this? I just had my dram. Yeah.
Yeah.
Work safety is great. missing a couple
Yeah.
fingers, or
Well, they would have. Let's see if I don't want to.
Simon has left. He is
Oh, here we
searching
go.
through his boot. We all know he carries many things in his boot.
This
There you
is
go.
this is what you what we call in the, apparently you guys have a different meaning of it. This is called a dookie.
Yeah, we don't call it that.
It
We
means
call it a dog.
it's dookie is for dunking. So the boys would they would fashion a, there was always extra copper around piping, and they thread it and put a cap on it and chain it, and then they would drop it into their boot, and if nobody was around in the warehouse, pull it out of the boot, drop it in,
Take the
pull-
cap off and then drop it in. Let it fill up.
Yep.
Bring it back out. Put the cap back on. Put it back in their boot.
Yep. Or sometimes they just fill their boots.
See, that seems like a lot more efficient.
And
Just fill the boot.
There's also a salad cream. It's like a Hellman's,
Yeah.
it comes in a small jar.
Yeah.
It's a perfect size. It fits in. It's just small enough that it'll fit into the bung of a barrel at the warehouses. And there are times when you go to dump the casks, and one of these jars will fall out.
But then you know it was a good barrel, because they only took stuff from really good casks.
Well, you know the good barrels because they've been worn. They've got a little sheen
To them,
they're
because
worn because the boy's been leaning up against the side of it, pulling drams.
pulling dookies.
So the warehouse experience. This leads into our
Yeah.
next tasting.
Well, okay, so the first one we're going to try is different than
Yeah.
even what Simon has put together, which was, by the way, fantastic. The first one you're gonna try is Laphroaig PX I Love You, and this sort of came about. We had been talking for a while about doing a barrel program, and on a wider scale, and I don't know how I did it, but I talked the people at Laphroaig and saying, like, well, we really should try it out and see if it's going to work, and what the logistics of everything would be. So they finally agreed to say, you know what, let's do that. That sounds like a great idea. All right, can you call John and tell him, like, this is what we're looking for, this is the price range, da 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 da, and we're flying over pretty soon to Isla, and we'll pick one from that. So I get to Isla, and John Campbell, who was the distillery manager at the time, just goes, I had no idea what they were saying and stuff, Ryan. I just put like 5 barrels of you. Here's a 750 from each barrel, and they all fit into the criteria that I think you want, and just try them. Okay. And then we fell in love with PX I Love You, which was the PX barrel. And it's a little bit different, and the only way I can sort of explain it is it spent more time in the finishing barrel than it actually spent in its original cask. So these were smaller casks that were meant to be like 10 quarter cask, and they got dumped into a PX barrel. Well, they got dumped into a PX barrel for 9 years. They were basically like 5 when they started, and they get dumped into that. So the whole thing is, that's why we were very unsure of what to actually call it. Remember, we were trying to figure out, like, what can we call this? We ended up calling it vintage. So it's the 2005 vintage. It really is 14 years old, cask number 3, and we did it at 54.4, which is what it came out of the barrel as. But basically, these things were 14 years old, and what you have in front of you is, and I hope you fall in love with it too, because there isn't anymore, is the PX I Love You. There is one bottle we have upstairs. These things have been going for auction for like, we saw one go for $1,500, one went for $1,100 now, because they're just, it's one of a kind.
Yeah.
And this is the predecessor for the next 2 you're going to try. So let's try the PX I Love You the original one. Did I tell you I met the distillery? It was an Irish distillery, and they did a whiskey called PX I Love You
Oh.
several years after, and it's like, yeah, you're the ones I meant to sue.
So the toast.
The toast.
For there's no foe like fear, no friends like cheer, and sunshine will flash at our call. So let's crown love king, and let us all sing. It's a mighty good world after all. PX, I love you.
Do I get a clink on that one? That's a good one. I like that one. You have to send me that one. I'll steal that one. Yes. Yes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the story on the chocolate is
I just show everybody we all got a bar of chocolate.
we did an event for the 30-year Friends of Laphroaig anniversary on Governor's Island in New York. We turned it into Governor's Isla.
There we go.
And
it's being in New York, that was probably an improvement. I don't know why I'm bashing on everybody else's place of living. Sorry.
It's okay.
It's the liquor talking.
That's it. And we partnered with a local chocolatier called Lilac Chocolates. They're the oldest chocolatier in New York. Provided them. This is Laphroaig 10 whiskey infused into the chocolate, and it's good.
I'll be trying that later.
Yeah.
So the PX I Love You is really sort of a really one-off. I don't think you're ever going to see something like this again. Even with things. Yes, Joe. How did something like this even happen? I
think it's indicative of the culture at Laphroaig during this time. I mean, John, as well as just the management, it was a little bit more open, a little bit more
experimental at the time too.
Yeah.
Just want to see how things sort of went about, and I think some things just got forgotten about until you send somebody looking for something. You know what I mean?
Right. There are casks that past distillery managers had put aside,
Right.
and not necessarily as an experiment, and they were just left.
Yeah, I mean, there is definitely some generational whiskeys in there. You know what I mean? Where somebody, I had this for my stint, and they moved on, and the whiskey stays.
Right.
And I think that's part of it. And then you start looking through the warehouse, looking at stuff, and going, "What's this?"
Another example of that is the Elements series. The Elements,
Do they have that in Virginia? We actually got some Element 2 just came in.
2.0.
2.0 just came in. So we do have some of this upstairs if anybody's looking for some. This just came in too.
The number one whiskey for last year by Whiskey Magazine. 2.0.
2.0. Right. We got some more.
And 3.0.
2030.
I can't tell you what it is, but Barry McCaffrey nearly burned the distillery down.
Good boy. I like him.
And that's what this whiskey, and that's how this whiskey was produced.
We need to talk about that because the Lock and Key Society has now picked a barrel with all the current distillery managers, except for the new guy, George.
Oh.
So we may have to rectify that.
George Campbell is the new distillery manager, born and bred on the island of Isla. No relation to, well, no,
There probably is somewhere along.
Everybody's related on the island. But
I'm not touching that one with a 10-foot pole. Knock it off.
No, I know George from a dozen years ago when he was started at Laphroaig giving tours. He was a tour guide, And then he left the island and started working. He worked for William Grant, working as an operator, making whiskey. And then he worked for Diageo after that. And then he went to Australia and worked at a distillery called Kangaroo Island, which apparently there's more koalas than kangaroos on the island. Go figure. But he was getting tired. Was a little bit homesick, and he'd had a son. He had a family living in Australia, and he was interested in getting back to Scotland. And that's when the position was posted for distillery manager at Laphroaig, because Barry had moved on, and he applied and was hired. So he's an islander, an Ewok. That's what we call the islanders. Not Ewok. That's
It's a different
something very
story.
different. That's a different island.
Yeah.
But it's a great story for him to come back and be making whiskey where he started. And I think he's going to bring some an exciting innovations and maintaining the tradition at
Yeah.
Laphroaig.
Yeah, you can do both.
Yeah,
You can maintain tradition and still experimentation.
absolutely.
Absolutely. So what you guys think of PX I Love You? Good? All right. Well, that sort of led into Simon, I think, this is the culmination, right? This was the whole thing is to be able to create a barrel program at Laphroaig, and you did that.
Yep.
Which I think was phenomenal.
2022.
Yeah.
But without the efforts of yourself, with us doing the barrel program with Ardmore,
Yep.
and PX I Love You, I mean, I think you helped us pave the way to the program that we
Well, I was just doing my part. I'm because I like the whiskey,
Yeah.
and it's one of those ways of doing it. That's what you do,
yeah,
right?
there'll be a little something in the mail for you.
Yeah, I'm sure there will be
Yeah,
an invitation, maybe,
yeah.
to go back.
No, we Scots were thrifty,
I know you are.
right?
Been there, done that.
Yeah.
So Barry actually was that's who we picked the next two whiskeys with, along with Simon and the team. It was a great experience, and we had a lot of fun doing it. And I didn't know it at the time, but my friend Bill Thomas was on that same trip. And anytime you put the two of us in a room, that's not good for anybody. But we started going through and figuring out what we wanted to do, and that led to the next two. So you guys were kind enough to say, like, we could only try so many whiskeys. So in compromise, we were allowed to sniff the bung holes. So that's what we went in, and we sort of like narrowed down just by smell what the barrels we actually wanted to try, and that's exactly what we did. And what came out of that is the next whiskey, which is PX I Love You, not the number 2, TOO, PX I Love You 2, and which is still a PX finished whiskey, a little bit different, aged 9 years, Pedro Mendez Hogshead. You guys try it, see what you think. Keep some.
yeah.
Thank you. Don't. No, it's too late. They drank it all. Let's try a little bit of that. I'm going to do this a little bit different this time. And I think, when we went through the samples and we had it out there, this was Randall and I picking. I think I come over to Simon and he goes, "What are you doing?" I go, "Oh, we're done. We already know which one it was." It's like, "You want to try and, you're going to go back?" "No, we're good. We know that's the one." And as soon as we tasted it, we knew. Yeah. We went back and checked off the boxes, but this was a standout. And then you get PX I Love You Too.
So here's the toast.
Oh yeah, I forgot almost the toast. I'm getting anxious.
My heart's in the islands, my heart is not here. My heart's in the islands, chasing the deer, chasing the wild deer, following the roe. My heart's in the islands, wherever I go. To the islands.
To the islands.
Cheers.
Cheers, brother. This one, I think the sweet peat really pops on this one too. I like that. It's a different whiskey, but the PX influence is still there. It's really quite nice.
It's a lot drier.
Yeah.
In comparison to the other two Pedro Jimenez.
Yeah. Came out great. I'm very, very happy with this one. Now, you saved some, right? You just didn't guzzle that, right? Because the next one is the one that the gang from
Jack Rose.
Jack Rose picked. And they did basically a Vino Barrique, virgin French oak. And by the way, I snuck some of their samples because we were done with ours, and I snuck some their samples, and I said a little prayer. I go, please let them pick this one. Please let them pick this one. And I don't know. They did. Lo and behold, they did. And I was so psyched that they did pick this one because I thought this one was really lovely.
Well, I think that there was the opportunity with these barrel selections to go with traditional, which I think yours is a more traditional style, or innovation. And this is a cask that we use as one of the components for lore. And
this was an extra. This was one of the extra barrels that that Barry pulled.
Yeah.
That had. We said, well, I pulled some other stuff, and the Vino Barrique was one of those.
Yeah.
So this is when you're the first going through, and we were the first going through for this whole thing, and the team is trying to figure out what works best. So you're sort of a little bit of a guinea pig trying to, to get through these things. And sometimes some other things come out of that, like, oh, you know what? I'm going to pull these other casts out for you guys to try. And that was what this was.
Yeah.
And which was great of you and Barry to do that. And so thank you.
Well, it's a works in progress. And
right.
we certainly, it's important that we get feedback from our customers.
Oh, I think it was great. It was a great time all around. And it was a lot of good whiskey. It's drunk. All right. So did you guys try that one? What do you think of that? Really nice, right?
Oh.
Oh.
So they're these big hairy beasts that run about the island of Isla. You know what we call them? It's a coo, a hairy coo, or a Highland coo. It's a Highland cow. So you need to know that for this toast. On yonder hill, there stood a coo. It's not there new. It must have moved. Cheers.
Cheers.
That's what we call a haiku.
The dad joke just stabbed me in the heart. Love a good dad joke. You let me know when you get one.
A dad?
A joke. All right, now that you've tried this, you like that? Good, right? They did a great job picking that. No doubt about it. Right, Kavork? There you go. I was waiting for Kavork to do his Canadian accent. So now if you got about 50-50, put these two together. I see them all. I'll take a sip out of this. No, it's not quite 50-50. I'll take a sip out of that. If you keep doing that, it'll be out and you'll be done. Mix it around a little bit and taste it. So what our good friends at Jack Rose Dining Saloon were doing is they would make a flight. They would do our PX I Love You Too. They would do their Virgin Oak cask. And then they would do a third one, which is we liked it at 50-50, but they did it, I believe, 70-30. 70% their Virgin Oak cask, 30% our PX I Love You. But I think you get a pretty good idea at about a 50-50 how that tastes. And it's very different.
Yeah.
It's really nice, though. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. So I have 2 bottles at home, and I constantly drink one and then mix the other one in. and see how it goes. And 50-50 seems to work for me, anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you guys think?
Should we sing one more time?
No one wants us to, but sure, why not? Oh, did you see the thing that David Tennant did?
Yes.
I thought
Yeah.
that was brilliant.
Yeah.
That was great. Did you guys see that at the award show?
BAFTA.
BAFTA, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. He sang the original song. We're not going to do that. Or are we as good a singer as he is? So go ahead.
All right. You know this song, 500 Miles? But I put a Laphroaig spin on it.
Of course you did. It wouldn't be Simon if you didn't. There you go.
All right.
Yes.
You ready?
Yeah, we're ready.
Let's do it. Let's do it really fast so we can get through it. On with
Unscathed.
Yeah.
All right.
Ready? Here we go.
Here we go.
One, two, three. When we cut Pete, well, I know we're gonna be the folk who are cutting Pete for you. When we're malting, yeah, I know we're gonna be the folk who are malting grain for you. When we're filling, well, I know we're gonna be the folk who are filling casks for you. And when we're drinking, hey, I know we're gonna be the team who's drinking scotch with you. 'Cause I would walk 500 miles and I would walk 500 more just to be the one who walks 1,000 miles to bring scotch to your door. Drink Laphroaig! Drink Laphroaig! Yummy, yum, yummy, yum, yummy, yum, yummy, yum, yummy, yum. Drink Laphroaig! Drink Laphroaig! Yum, 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 yummy, yum, yummy, 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 yum.
Why did I feel like Stewie from Family Guy when I was going yum 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 yum? But anyways, we actually broke the internet. It went down. I think we didn't say hail Zuckerberg enough. I think he cut us out. But we're back. We're back.
So
They did, yes.
community.
Yes.
We were talking about community earlier, and this is the whole team, not just from Isla, but the Suntory Global team that are all on the island for the festival last year for Festival.
And everybody does know each other at the distillery. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
They're all they are like a family, you know.
Yeah.
And it's great. And it's great to be part of that. And I think if you ever get over to Isla, you owe it to yourself to go over to Laphroaig to see how.
Come let me know
Yeah.
if you're coming over. Let me know, and I'll give you my contact information. I'll help set you up with your visit.
He really will too. By the way, he's not just saying that. He really will. Because you're a man of your word.
I try to be.
It's so great to see my good friend Simon back. I love it when you come up to visit us. I love everybody here that got to enjoy this stuff with you. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, buddy. Really love it. I do.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, I have a question. Why don't you just give us a little of what
Yes.
because they all got the Oak Select, right?
Which is Select. It is Laphroaig Select. With the new packaging, you notice it's in a box now instead of a tube. The information on to become a friend of Laphroaig is now not in the brochure, but it's on the back of the bottle itself.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, it was smart to do that.
Yeah.
And Oak Select.
You can't lose it that way. You know, it's like a cereal box. You know, you have cereal, you read the box. Now you drink your whiskey, you read the whiskey, and then you become a friend of Laphroaig.
Unless you drink it all.
Well, yeah, eventually.
Well,
some more quickly than others.
But it's part of what we call our cask series. So that's why we have Oak Select, we have quarter casks. Lore is now called Cask Lore. So it's marketing.
It's good whiskey. Drink your whiskey.
But the 10 years, there's now a part of the 10-year sherry oak, 10-year cask strength. That's a grouping as well.
Okay. Yeah, but
So,
it does make it sort of, it does categorize it nicely. So
Yeah.
it does sort of work.
Yeah.
All right. I want to thank everybody for coming tonight. We're gonna stay there. We got some stuff to go through. I got to let everybody on Facebook go. You can see this on It's the Liquor Talking. Go wherever you get your podcast. You can see it on Facebook Live. You can see it on YouTube. If you want to see any parts of this again, I don't know why you would, but you could do that. But thank you. You really should have been here. It was a lot of fun, and we drank a lot of great whiskeys. Go to juliosliquors.com and don't miss our next tasting. Bye now.